Hello, basketball people, we have news. Let's go to more news about the Golden State Warriors. I ask you to give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, as I am a Warriors fan. The uncertainty about whether or not Jonathan Kuminga will be traded continues, and several NBA teams want the young and explosive player, and one of the suitors is the Los Angeles Lakers. If the Warriors decide to trade him, Kuminga has the value to be traded for a great player. One Golden State Warriors star could be key to getting a massive name like Giannis Antetokounmpo to the Bay Area. The Milwaukee Bucks waiving Damian Lillard was a shocking decision. Even Giannis Antetokounmpo was shocked by the news as the Bucks made room for Miles Turner. While the Lillard saga continues, there is still a chance that Giannis may ask out following Dame's departure from Milwaukee. Keeping that in mind, the Golden State Warriors may have the perfect player they can use to trade for the Greek Freak. Jonathan Kuminga is the bargaining chip that could help in trading for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Jonathan Kuminga's future with the Warriors was undoubtedly one of the biggest storylines ahead of the offseason. All signs point to Kuminga leaving the Dubs sooner rather than later. Fortunately, Kuminga's positive vibe makes him easy to ship off for the Dubs. With that said, Clutch Point's Brett Siegel recently reported that the 22-year-old is the perfect bargaining chip for the Warriors in case Antetokounmpo becomes available for trade. If, by some chance, Giannis requests out, the Warriors will put themselves very much in those trade conversations, Siegel wrote. Siegel also clarified that fans shouldn't expect clarity on Giannis' situation with the Bucks right now. There isn't expected to be a clear answer on Antetokounmpo's future with the Bucks until later in the summer, well after the free agency period and trade market have died down. In order to pursue Giannis, the Warriors would need a young talent like Kuminga on a decent contract to utilize as a bargaining chip, he added. Not only Giannis Antetokounmpo, Golden State Warriors can trade for LeBron James as well. Kuminga is coming on the heels of averaging 15.3 points, 4.6 rebounds, and 2.2 assists per game for the Warriors last season. However, Kuminga knows his value and could receive an annual salary of more than $25 million. The Warriors could use it to their advantage by engaging in a sign-and trade for someone of LeBron James' caliber, too. The same line of thinking relates to LeBron James and his uncertain future. Warriors owner Joe Lacob has long dreamed of bringing James to San Francisco, and they seriously pursued him before the 2024 NBA trade deadline, sources said, Siegel stated. Since James opted into his $52.6 million player option, the King has become a mainstay in NBA trade rumors. If the Dubs want to trade for the 40-year-old, Kuminga will undoubtedly be the key piece in making the move happen. Warriors restricted free agent to use Las Vegas as negotiating hub. NBA free agency is almost a week old. However, there has been little movement in the restricted free agent market. All of the marquee names remain stuck in the same spot they were on June 30th. That includes Jonathan Kuminga. The Golden State Warriors forward is reportedly drawing attention from multiple teams around the league. However, base compensation rules and the reality of a hard cap have made sign-and-trade deals difficult to navigate. As such, Kuminga could find himself staying in the Bay Area beyond this summer. The problem is, even the Warriors haven't made much headway in negotiating with the former lottery pick. According to Anthony Slater of The Athletic, Kuminga and his camp will likely use the Las Vegas Summer League as a negotiating ground. The explosive forward is expected to meet with Warriors representatives and the front offices of interested teams around the NBA. There's a tentative plan for face-to-face meetings between Kuminga and prospective suitors in Las Vegas during the NBA Summer League, should the process extend that far. Slater reported. An eventual compromise and return to the Warriors also remains very much on the table, league sources said, considering the market dynamics at play. The two sides have talked about a sit-down in Las Vegas between Kuminga, Turner, general manager Mike Dunleavy and head coach Steve Kerr to discuss a possible path forward. Kuminga is playing things smart. He has struggled to crack Steve Kerr's rotation since being drafted by the franchise. It makes little sense to re-sign with Golden State unless they change their stance or are the only viable option. Meeting with teams in Vegas will give Kuminga the opportunity to get a feel for how warm his market really is. It's also a chance for him to sell himself to prospective suitors. Kuminga's restricted free agency has the potential to drag on throughout the summer. He could even choose to sign his qualifying offer and become an unrestricted free agent next summer. After multiple years of trying to prove himself with the Warriors, Kuminga might want a fresh start somewhere else in the league. However, there's no guarantee that's going to happen this summer. And that makes the whole scenario even more enthralling. Warriors closing in on 5x All-Star champion signing. It's becoming one of the NBA offseason's worst-kept secrets. Al Horford is expected to join the Golden State Warriors. According to Mark Stein, all signs continue to point to Horford landing with the Warriors, potentially as soon as Sunday, the first day teams can officially complete most signings and trades under the 2025-26 salary cap. All signs point to Al Horford signing with the Golden State Warriors, per at the Stein line. All signs, for the record, continue to point to Al Horford landing with Golden State, eventually. Sunday will be the first day of the 2025-26 salary cap year that NBA teams can make most. Warriors expected to land Horford. Stein and Fisher reported that Horford will not return to the Boston Celtics, where he helped win the 2024 championship. All signs, for the record, continue to point to Al Horford landing with Golden State, eventually, Stein and Fisher noted. Bill Simmons echoed that sentiment on his podcast while speaking with Rob Mahoney of The Ringer. Horford's going to Golden State, Simmons said. Mahoney replied, that's basically treated as a foregone conclusion around the league right now. Simmons doubled down, it's happening. A need at center, and a veteran fit. Golden State's need for frontcourt help is obvious. The team lost Kevin Looney to the Pelicans. They haven't had a reliable floor-spacing big since Maurice Spites in 2016. Horford, even at age 39, checks multiple boxes. Veteran presence. Championship experience. High IQ. Steady shooting. Last season, Horford appeared in 60 games for Boston. He averaged 9.0 points, 6.2 rebounds, and 2.1 assists. He shot 42.3% from the field and 36.3% from deep. He's played for the Atlanta Hawks, Philadelphia 76ers, Oklahoma City Thunder, and Celtics, twice. He owns career averages of 12.9 points and 7.9 rebounds. His Celtics lost to the Warriors in the 2022 finals and fell to the Knicks in the second round this year. Lakers rumors fade as Warriors emerge. Earlier this week, Horford was briefly linked to the Los Angeles Lakers as they looked to retool their frontcourt around LeBron James and Luka Doncic. But that door closed after the Lakers re-signed Jackson Hayes and added DeAndre Ayton, per Shams Charania. With Los Angeles off the table, the decision appears to be between Golden State and retirement. Free agent center Jackson Hayes has agreed on a one-year deal to return to the Los Angeles Lakers, sources tell ESPN. Hayes' agents, Bill Duffy and Marlon Harrison of WME Basketball, finalized a contract with Lakers president Rob Pelinka on Thursday. Warriors course shifts with Horford incoming. The current Warriors roster features Stephen Curry, Draymond Green, and Jimmy Butler, who was acquired in a blockbuster deal last season. Adding Horford would round out the veteran-heavy core with a high-character leader and proven playoff performer. Golden State fell to the Timberwolves in the second round of the 2025 playoffs after Curry suffered a hamstring injury in Game 1. The team had earlier survived a 7-game battle with the Rockets. Warriors set shocking and unforeseen asking price in Jonathan Kuminga trade. This is different. Given the Golden State Warriors are looking to build a contending team around Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green next season, you'd presume that they'd be after win-now assets in any potential Jonathan Kuminga sign-and trade. However, that doesn't appear to be the case as the Warriors work towards a solution on the young forward and his restricted free agency. Instead of asking for veteran pieces that could help right away, Golden State are actually after the opposite in prospective trade packages. The Warriors want a promising player and pick for Jonathan Kuminga. According to Anthony Slater of The Athletic on Thursday night, the Warriors are after a promising young player and a first-round pick if a rival team wants to get their hands on the former 7th overall pick. The Golden State Warriors, according to league sources, have been searching for a promising young player plus a first-round pick in return for Kuminga, should they ultimately choose to part with him in a sign-and-trade scenario, Slater wrote. This is quite the development for a team built around such a veteran core, but may also signify the difficulty that Golden State has in executing sign-and-trades for more proven players given the base year compensation rules. The Warriors cannot take back more than 50% of Kuminga's outgoing salary in a sign-and-trade. Given that most high-level experienced players are making at least $20 million and therefore are not financially viable, the pool of veteran players Golden State could target that makes sense for Kuminga is extremely small. It therefore makes sense that the Warriors would target valuable young players that are still on their rookie contracts, which could also open up the opportunity for the franchise to use more money elsewhere in free agency. Keegan Murray, for example, was viewed as the dream target for Golden State fans after the Sacramento Kings reported interest in Kuminga emerged on Wednesday. Murray is extension eligible this offseason, but makes just $11.1 million on the final year of his rookie deal. A potential deal with the Kings could still be forthcoming, but it's actually the Washington Wizards who have entered the mix strongly in the last 24 hours and could be a possible fit for Kuminga according to Slater. Whether the Warriors can get a promising young player and a first-round pick remains to be seen, but it would seem like a high bar for opposing teams to reach despite Kuminga's obvious talent. This is likely Golden State just using the media as a tool to make other teams well aware of how highly they regard Kuminga, and that they won't be accepting ridiculous offers the likes of which the Kings threw up on Wednesday. All signs point to Warriors landing coveted free agent target. The frontcourt vacancy remains open for the Golden State Warriors after a few days have passed since the official beginning to free agency. However, that does not mean the Warriors do not have a plan. It is simply a waiting game at this point. Golden State was forced to start Draymond Green at center after the arrival of Jimmy Butler to the Bay Area. That tactic yielded positive results before their eventual second-round elimination. Still, the long-term sustainability of having Green run the five full-time is highly questionable. It is something the Warriors have been looking to address since. Jake Fisher dropped a rumor mill roundup ahead of the July 4th weekend. The NBA insider offered some reassurance to those Warriors fans hoping that Al Horford would be the answer at the center spot next season. Fisher wrote, "All signs, for the record, continue to point to Al Horford landing with Golden State, eventually. Sunday will be the first day of the 2025-26 salary cap year that NBA teams can make most free agent signings and trades official. Horford has come up as a free agent target for several contending teams previously. Michael Scotto reported earlier in the offseason there were 6 of those franchises linked to the former NBA champion. Scotto wrote, Al Horford has received interest from several contending teams since the start of free agency, including the Boston Celtics, Golden State Warriors, New York Knicks, Denver Nuggets, Cleveland Cavaliers, and Los Angeles Lakers, league sources told Hoops Hype. If Fisher is to be believed, the Warriors are emerging from the pack of those hungry teams. Horford would fit well in Golden State for a number of reasons too. Despite his advanced age, the 39-year-old remains effective on the defensive end. Horford even holds up as a relatively switchable defender for someone his size. Offensively, the veteran center can provide a strong option to space the floor. The Warriors found success with that strategy when deploying Quinton Post in 2024-25. The Warriors and their fans will await eagerly, hoping to hear Horford's official decision in the near future.